I've had to put an enormous amount of time on Lucille Ball right now because she has a very particular rhythm and
Oh,
way.
you're playing Lucille Ball with Sorkin?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Lucille Ball.
I mean, she is up there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. She's, Mount Everest, just like one of the most talented people to ever roam the earth.
Yeah. So I'm way out of my comfort zone right now, Chris. You and I, we've met before.
We have met before.
Yes.
We have met before.
Yeah.
I dated a friend of yours and you dated a friend of mine.
Yeah. So that's kind of great.
It's kind of great.
Being in the apartment and you coming over, and I think it was around 3 a.m. in the morning, hanging out. Do you remember that?
It was a different lifestyle. It was very rock and roll. And yeah.
I'm glad I lived that.
I'm so glad I lived that. I'm so glad.
Well, we were just talking about who I was working with. Aaron Sorkin is such a great
Aaron Sorkin, Dr. Monologue, yes.
Yes, Dr. Monologue. I've got 5 monologues coming out Monday, Tuesday. So, but you're a great writer. How do you come in and work with another great writer? How do you come in and do Fargo? And do you contribute to the writing? Do you change it? Do you come in and do it word for what is your process?
Fargo, it depends on the writer. Me and Noah, we had conversations about things that maybe I thought were missing occasionally. Right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Hey, I know this guy is giving his kid to the gangster, but trust me, his hardest conversation is going to be with his wife. So, like, I'll say that to Noah because there's no wife scene here. You know what I mean? So then suddenly a wife scene will show up. So, and so that Noah writes, by the way.
Yeah.
But so, I mean, I learned, good actors ask questions. That's what I learned. A long time, not actually a long time ago, not too long ago. And it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And that's how I try to contribute with him. I just did one with David O. Russell. Right. Yeah.
The one that was just recent here.
Yeah. So
wow. How was that?
That was really fun.
Yeah.
And David encourages you to come up with stuff. You know what I mean? He's not as married to the page.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's married to the situation, but he's not as married to the page. So, yeah.
So when you come in, say, to do Fargo, do you do an enormous amount of preparation? Because what was incredible to me, and everyone always says this, and you probably hear this, is you have such an appealing voice. So your voice vocally is warm. It draws you in. And so then to be that juxtaposed against Lon and what he's doing and his motivations was so fascinating because there's this sort of it's great casting.
Thank you.
What do you do?
It's weird. I always say I did a movie with Morgan Freeman years ago.
Yeah.
And I would watch them give him pages on the day and he would literally just in a rehearsal would be so good. And I always say acting is 80% voice.
Yeah. I hear you. Yeah.
Some people have a voice that is believable no matter what the hell they're saying. And some people, you can see a lie coming a mile away. And
your tone of voice is what we love. And I was sitting with some friends and I was talking about you. They were like, oh, I love his voice. And we were all like, and I was like, yeah. And in Fargo, that so works in the role. I mean, it works comedically for you, but it works dramatically.
Well, thank you.
And that's but I always wonder how much, would you go and then go through the history of him? Do you come up with a whole path that leads to
I mean,
you stepping on set, or are you just, okay, I show up and I'm gonna fly it?
you know what? And I'm gonna answer this and get to you. I
Forget me.
don't know. No, you know what this weird thing is? At some point, you, with me anyway, I started realizing, hey, it's like you stop thinking like an actor per se and just say, I'm a person, okay? I'm the age of this character.
Mhm.
I'm from the same place this character's from. I have the same relatives this character's from. So I try to cross out this list, like try to find all the parallels to me and this character. So I'm not acting per se. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, yeah, I could have been a gangster. I know gangsters that don't yell. I know, you know what I mean? Like, I just find all these things I have in common with this guy. And the closer he is to me, the more fun we're gonna have, I guess. I
Yeah.
would say. I would
Yeah,
say.
and the confidence.
Maybe you feel like these Italians own you, but you got no idea what it feels like to be actual owned. Until now. You're gonna help me win this war, or I'm gonna put you on the ground. You hear me?
You're from Australia.
In Australia, yeah. Well, I was born in Hawaii.
You're born in Hawaii. You're like,
Yeah, I have dual citizenship.
oh my God. And
Mhm.
you dated Obama. And no. uh, the one that got away. But
Yeah, there's a few others from Hawaii, but Obama is definitely the
Oh.
shining star.
he's the shining star.
He absolutely is the shining star.
Okay, so the accent or no accent, how hard is that to maintain?
I don't think about it too much. See, I've always come at it through feeling. I'm a very I try to, the technical aspects of performance for me are really interesting, but they're almost like their homework. And then in you come, and that it all fluctuates and moves depending on what's going through my body, my heart, my mind at the time. And so, and the great thing about accent is you can always go and fix it in looping, which I know is probably a really lazy thing.
No,
But
no.
it also allows, because for me, technical performances are interesting, and they're almost like watching, when you watch a musician who's very, very technical, but I'm always interested in heart. I'm interested in the sensations and the feelings and the depth of where that's coming from. So an accent, I'll put the time in. I mean, I've had to put an enormous amount of time in saying on Lucille Ball right now, because she has a very particular rhythm and
Oh,
way.
you're playing Lucille Ball with Sorkin?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Lucille Ball.
Yes, you would. And doesn't every comedian love?
Oh my God, Lucille Ball has this thing. They would
Yeah.
ask that she could learn anything in a weekend. So
Right.
they would write like something on the show where she plays a tuba. And then she'd go, I can't play a tuba. Give me 2 days. And in 2 days, she could play any instrument. She could learn any accent. She could, you know what I mean? She could learn a language. Just give me 2 days.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe it. I mean, she is woo, up there, right?
Yeah, I don't know. She's, Mount Everest, just like one of the most talented people to ever roam the earth.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm way out of my comfort zone right now, Chris.
Wow. Who's playing the husband?
Javier Bardem.
Oh, he's great.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah. So, but I suppose that then brings us to bravery, because bravery is something you're good at. Well, initially with comedy, you have to be incredibly bold and brave, right?
You know what? I'm born with some of this. And yes, you have to be brave to do. You have to be brave to not listen to your agents. That's what you have to be.
Totally. No, but you've got to be brave. Just go,
You got to be brave.
I want to do this, and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to take whatever comes with it.
To not listen to your reps, to not listen to people who literally, that's all they do all day is read what's happening, right? And you, like, the bravery is realizing, oh yeah, they're in show business, but none of these people are artists. And I have to go on what I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So were you advised to go in the direction that you're going in now?
Was I advised? No, I was not advised. I'm
But
a comedian.
it's interesting to me because you have your lane that's totally yours, that you can exist in and in a hugely successful way. And instead you go, okay, I'm now going to go take a huge bite out of drama, and I'm going to do it and accomplish it. And everyone should watch, by the way, because you're fantastic in it. That's crazy brave. You don't need to do it.
I don't need to do it, but I need.
Yeah, what? What
I
do you
don't
need?
know. I need to feel good about myself. I need to, I hate that. You ever meet an artist that likes good art and does bad art? Like people with great taste, and you're like, why do they do this bullshit? Why is she so horrible? She has the best taste. You know what I mean? Like I never want to be. We all have those friends that can break down any play, any script, and then they go and do the biggest piece of shit.
Yeah.
Don't want.
I have a thing about that. My thing is, I feel like people who are incredibly critical have a very hard time actually doing anything. Because if you're deeply critical of everything, you're setting the bar so high, you're never, ever going to hit it yourself. And I've got friends like this who then go, like, can analyze, trash, destroy something, and like very few things, but at the same time, they do very little.
Yeah, I mean, I have friends.
I don't want to be like that.
I don't want to be like that. My friends, and they're going to be nameless.
Yeah, no, I have a slither of these friends.
There's slither, not a lot, a couple of nameless people that have lifestyles that are so extravagant, they can't say no to anything.
That's a whole different thing.
So they don't even work for themselves. They work for Bentley. They work for Fannie Mae mortgage company. They work for,
You're so honest.
3 divorces. You're like, you end up in these places.
Whatever I feel for you, it doesn't matter because my mind is stronger than my heart. You know that about me. And while you may not be a murderer, you're not my husband.
We haven't talked about The Undoing. Okay, so you've been married a couple of times. So playing a wife is.
I'm on my second marriage and my last marriage.
Yes. I'm one in.
You're one in.
I've had one marriage, and another one will be fine. You got another friend, go tell her to call me. But so.
Well, you're the marrying kind.
Once you get married, you're like once you're a spouse, you're a spouse. You're just looking for a country to grab hold to that takes your passport. But
what's the question?
Because your marriage looks so great. You guys look so happy. I mean, we all look happy, but you guys look really happy. So the whole untrusting wife thing.
Are you saying in the show or in my real life?
In the show, and your real life looks amazing. And I've seen you with.
My real life, I have a really, really good partner. Yes.
Yes.
In the Undoing, not so good.
Yeah. So how is that playing this unhappy woman?
Starts out happy, starts out very happy.
The
rug pulled out from under her. Well, having a partner like Hugh Grant, who I've known from, I love working with people that I know because I'm quite shy. If I'm working with someone that I've got a history with or that I know well, I feel so much freer and safer. So that's a good thing. So having Hugh as my husband was fantastic for me, and I hope for him. So we bring a history that was just very easy, but it was so beautifully written, this show, and it was so interior, a lot of it. And we had this director called Susanna Bier, who's fantastic with detail and nuance and the thriller and all of those things. So I could really get lost in being this woman who is basically, I mean, the title, The Undoing. Her whole life just sort of becomes undone, and she has to find her resilience or find the desire to leave him and to exist on her own and all of those things. So there's a lot of complexities to it, which is what I was really drawn to.
Oh man, I mean, just the scenes with you in the sun, actually, like
Yeah. I had Noah is such a good little actor, and he's actually now a man. So we got him just in that boy man period, which is a beautiful thing, that boy man.
how old was he when he did it? Did you guys have to, because sometimes you film with a kid and you have these weird hours. It's like,
Well, Hugh says that he grew and his voice changed because it was a 6-month shoot. I think he was 12. He's just so experienced. He's one of those. I find that with these kids now that come, and they're so by the time they're 16, they're like they're 26. I don't know if you find that, but I find that it's mind blowing how talented, and I probably because they're growing up on with cameras and social media, and that they're brilliant at teaching themselves. They learn stuff off YouTube. I mean, they're just sort of really, really talented. And so part of, I think, a great show is the casting. And as soon as you put the right coupling and the right people together, and that's what Susanna Bier did, I think, on that. Because we also have a huge supporting cast in that show that are just fantastic.
I thought everything was kind of top notch. Just the way it captured just that part of New York, that Upper East Sidey thing that really does exist.
That is coming tumbling down.
Yes.
Yeah. Which is really interesting. But then you have Noma cast as this incredible lawyer, and that was sort of thrilling to watch her come in and I always want to call her out because she was a theater actress who we were like, yeah, we're going to give her a shot to really own this. And she came on and she just commanded, like we all got in line. I mean, she has such a great, talk about a great voice.
Yeah, she had an amazing voice.
Now it's opened a pathway for her. I mean, she and I email and she sent me a thing saying, you have no idea what this has done in terms of opportunities. Yeah, which is kind of fantastic. Yeah, that
is great.
I know who and what I married.
Your Honor, I move for a mistrial. This is hearsay. It's prejudicial beyond the pale. It's unfair, surprise, and outrageous.
Noah Hawley directed the first 2 eps.
On Fargo?
Noah Hawley directed the first 2 eps, and he was around for most of the time. He's a great director. He's an amazing director. He's an amazing writer, and he's a good guy. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean, I'm not a kid. I don't need everybody to hug me through a job, but it is nice when you're like with a well-adjusted adult.
Yeah.
That can actually like carry a conversation and convey a note without, in a coherent way.
Because it's interesting to work with someone like Noah, who's the showrunner, got all of that, and take that. And then, is it drama? Is it comedy? Is it a mix?
It's kind of in the middle. I did this movie a few years back called Top 5 with me and Rosario Dawson. So it's kind of about the acting world and addiction, and I don't want to give it away too much, but the woman actually has a bigger part than me, and kind of a bunch of drugged out actors trying to make it in LA.
That sounds fun. Very, very real.
Yeah, that's the best way I could describe it right now. But so getting that together,
Yeah.
writing jokes,
Oh,
and trying to, keep it moving. My kids are older, so they don't need me. One's in college, so I got a little time. Let's be an artist.
But did you have to shut down on Fargo when you were shooting?
We shut down. Whew, that was a crazy day. We shut down in March, and it was one of those things where you're filming and then you just hear Chicago Hope shut down. You're like, huh? Other productions were shutting down around us, and people were walking off the set, like the Grips and this, people like, ooh, what was that Will Smith movie with the zombies? And everybody's got to get off of Manhattan. It was crazy.
Oh, I know. I'm fascinated by people that had to stop in the middle and hold the character and then still deliver that performance. How did you do that?
It was hard. I mean, I lucked up in the sense that I used the pandemic to get in shape, to get in physical shape.
Yeah.
So I've said this before, I learned to swim, and I had a trainer, and I had a nutritionist and all this stuff. So I didn't have to worry about it physically. I came back kind of looking like the guy. Mentally, yes, I had to wrap my mind around even wanting to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even
and then feeling free enough to actually do the scenes, because
and I had to leave my attitude at the door, because you're like, why are we even doing this? Is this really important?
Yeah.
I have a mask on and everybody's got a mask on and we're worrying about people dying. Is acting really that important right now?
Yeah. And then what was your decision to go for it? Because you could have gone no, right? I mean,
could have gone no, but we had, I don't know, 8, 6 already done. So
right.
You do have an obligation to your crew, and you do have an obligation to, the other actors.
They were probably scared too.
And you also, get out of your own head and realize we're all scared. We're all in this together. And let's try to give a great performance. Let's, and in some ways it was easier to do it because you had no distraction.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Exactly. I found that too.
There was no meeting up at the bar after the shoot. You know what I mean? There was no social interaction. It was just like, know your lines, know your character, and just do it. We got an alliance. But I see the window signs. No coloreds, no Italians. So we're both in the gutter together, like it or not.
When I was coming back from Australia to start this, it was still, where, I mean, right here in LA, it was the hub. I mean, I came back in February and I was terrified, honestly. But at the same time, you've got a massive crew and a huge amount of cast members and people who need the work. And you're like, okay. But I was terrified. I was scared. And there's a freedom when you perform where you want to feel like I can touch you. I can breathe on you. All of those things are so important for just because acting is about energy, and it's also about freedom and being able to, we are actors where there's not really many jobs where they go, no, you have to work without a mask. You have to take your mask off and you have to stand there and you either have to kiss somebody, breathe on them, hug them. And when you say that to people, they're like, oh yeah, there's one other profession where you're paid to kiss someone, or not kiss, do something else, right?
Right.
That's it.
Woo. Oh,
what?
Man. And sometimes these two professions are confused.
Yes. Yes.
Occasionally.
Yeah.
They are. There's some overlap, but that's a whole nother interview.
which we will have.
We'll have that at a bar someday. Yeah.
I would love to work with you, just because thinking back to when we were hanging out in New York, and just you're fun, you're cool, knowing people that know you. And I love that you're just game. You're up for stuff.
Let's do it.
I love people that are so just game. It's a great quality, right?
We're gonna do it. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out.
In 10 years.
We're running out of time. I'm running out of time. I'm at this point.
I'm running out of time.
Oh God.
Every now and then I look at my notes and I go, I can't play that guy anymore. You boys do it all the time.
No, not me.
You get in the dirt yourself and you show them how to be an animal. You show them how to hate. You show them how to be cruel. You kill his friends.
What do you want to do that you haven't done?
I'd love to be funny.
You can be funny.
I'm never cast funny. I'd like to be funny.
Okay. Well, you're playing Lucille Ball. You
Always
gotta be
funny,
funny.
but the strange thing about Lucille Ball is that everyone thinks we're remaking the I Love Lucy show, and it is so not that. It's about Lucille and Desi and their relationship and their marriage. It's very deep, actually.
Yeah, they had a very complicated marriage. It was one of the first, you know.
Trailblazer. I mean, she
it's-
really formed her production company. They had Desi Luke. He was Cuban, and suddenly he's, you know, she had to fight to get him on the show. They had, you know, just so many things in their marriage that are so relevant to today. And what she was also dealing with in terms of, you know, everything that artists deal with, where you're up against big corporations and you're up against a big group of people, and you're like, no, this is the art. And comedy is art. I mean, it really is. And I always have this saying that there's the art that lasts, that you watch, and she made that. I mean,
She absolutely made that. And I mean, and let's not downplay the fact how hard it must have been to be a woman at that time, going through, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm the boss. No, not him. I'm the boss.
Yeah, which is still
You know, it's still
it is still tricky.
I've fired people
Yeah.
because they couldn't listen to a woman.
Right. And why couldn't they?
It was just some mental stuff, like, how come he's not doing, and then I realized, because
So why can you listen to a woman?
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's something
you
me and
don't-
my mother. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've been around, you know, when I started out as a comedian, you know, Joy Behar and Susie Essman put me under their wing. And, you know, I just always was around these powerful women. I mean, even in comedy, the clubs were run by women. Comedy Store was Mitzi Shore in LA, and the most powerful person in New York was Silver Friedman. So there's always.
That doesn't get talked about that much.
It doesn't get talked about. Everybody talks about how stand-up is a boys' club, but stand-up's been run by a lot of women for a lot of years. Even right now, it's Esty at this Comedy Cellar in New York. Yeah, there's a woman named Cynthia Coe that used to run Catch a Rising Star. Lots of powerful women that call the shots.
I'm gonna tell you the name of the patient.
I don't want to know the patient's name. Don't. Private information. It's confidential, and I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
You don't want to know? Or you already do know?
Every time I see you on the screen, you're just the lead. You're just always.
No! I'm a character actor, please.
I mean, you play great characters, but what I'm trying to say is there's something about you that's always kind of in charge, that's always in control,
I don't want that.
You're not a damsel, ever.
I don't want to be a damsel, but unless it's a great role. I mean, I'm a character actor, probably because I started when I was 14, and at drama school, it was always like, you would play 80 years old, you would play boys, girls, you would play everything because that's what you do. You're taught to. And then you come out in the real world and it's like, where's the roles? Now I'm just playing the girlfriend, or I'm playing sort of standing there.
You're not the girlfriend.
Oh, give me the most extreme, interesting things. And I think also part of my thing is I grew up going and watching opera, going to art films, going and seeing a lot of those French, Italian, Russian films that are all subtitled. And my dream was to work with auteurs. So I love auteurs. I love the director that comes in and is just going to take you into their world. And I'm still so dedicated to it as a performer, because they're a dying breed. You know, they don't get given the platforms or the places to go and do that anymore. So I will go to my deathbed for them.
I saw a movie. You did this movie a year ago or 2 years ago where you were kind of a drugged up cop.
Yeah, and everyone was like, why the hell are you doing that?
Oh, so good. Such an amazing performance.
I was awful to live with through that though, Chris.
Oh my God, you were so good in that thing.
Keith was like, I can't wait for this woman to leave your body because she is so not my kind of woman.
I think I've seen all your movies, Nicole Kidman.
No, you.
I think I have. I'm a bigger fan than you would think. Always good.
I would never think you've seen any of my movies, Chris.
Because they're always good, because you don't do junk ever. There's always a reason.
But I'll take a risk, and if it turns out to not work, then hey, you fall down, you get back up. But you would have that same approach, right?
Now I do, yes. There's you know, there's some junk in there from earlier.
But I mean,
I
either
didn't know any better
you
though.
got to be willing to fall.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, you got to be willing to just absolutely die. Fall flat on your face. I mean, I don't need to tell you that, because when you're a comedian, you try stuff, you move on. You try stuff, you move on, right?
Absolutely.
It works or it doesn't. That is the best piece of advice I think anyone can offer an actor is don't get caught in any of the failures, but be willing to fail.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it go.
Day. I love it.
I can't wait to see you live again. I want to see you up there making a huge 100% capacity laugh. Come on. Make us laugh, Chris.
I'm coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
It's coming. We got to get people vaccinated.